I don't think it's disqualifying because I think disqualifying is with what your intention is. I think that it's important for the vice president and others to understand is it isn't what you intended, it's how it was received.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi defending former Vice President Joe Biden against allegations of misconduct, saying that while the former VP should be aware of his actions, the accusations are not disqualifying for a presidential run. Does this help provide him cover to run? GOP strategist Noel Nickpour, attorney Leeza Garber, and Democratic strategist Capri Cafaro. Capri, I got to start with you. I also read what she said, that Joe Biden's got to join the straight arm club and just pretend that he has a cold and everybody else has a cold.
Who said that?
I read somewhere that maybe Nancy Pelosi said that. But does he have to do that, though?
Well, look, I mean, I think he probably does have to adapt to this post hashtag Me Too world. But I think what we need to think about here is who are the people that are saying that, you know, yes, maybe Joe Biden is a little too gregarious, maybe a little too, friendly, so to speak. People that actually know him, people like Nancy Pelosi, like Meghan McCain, even people like Alyssa Milano, who spearheaded the Me Too movement, are saying, look, this is not
for
that.
The woman in Nevada, the Democrat in Nevada, and the woman at the fundraiser.
Agreed. But here's the thing. The two people that have come forward, do they really know him? Or is this a one-time thing?
But isn't that the point, though, that you shouldn't touch someone that you don't know?
I don't disagree, but I mean, and I do agree with Nancy Pelosi that, this is something about how it is received rather than what maybe what Joe Biden was about. But this isn't about these issues. To me, this is about trying to marginalize Joe Biden before he gets in the race because there are progressives out there that don't want to see him in.
I think a lot of people agree with that, Noel, that this is a political setup. Listen, the other stuff has been around for a while. We know, be that as it may, though, it's interesting that this is now emanating out of the party. As a Republican watching this from afar, how do you see it playing out?
Well, one of the things that is very odd to me is a long time ago, we used to look for candidates that had that connectability, that would actually, be hands-on, that would grab the baby.
Right,
how many times,
kiss the baby, hug the crowd.
Kiss the baby, hug, and don't be so cold. Don't be, like Mitt Romney did not have a warm presence, and that hurt him with that connectability. Joe Biden has, he has ability to connect. He's, warm and loving and whatever. We need to really all watch the line between men being affectionate and being sexual predators. Right. There's a big difference in somebody having a sexually unwanted advance versus somebody, with a greeting. Look, I'm from the South. We hug when we see people.
And I'm Italian.
There you go.
We get in people's space. It doesn't mean anything.
And I will say, personally, in the last year and a half, I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
I've had to stop.
Yeah.
I've tried, when I see people that I know, I hug them, and it's just, unfortunately, this is the world we're in, but from a legal perspective, Leeza, maybe there's nothing there, but, as more and more women come forward, if they do, this does change the dynamics of the story, doesn't it?
It certainly changed the dynamics. And I think when we're having this conversation about whether it's disqualifying, it's not disqualifying. But is Nancy Pelosi calling his behavior defensible? I think it's indefensible. Regardless of whether you know him personally or how he acts, there's a huge gap in understanding what these actions mean. And even though they're not sexual advances, they're very disrespectful.
Well, and I think that this is the issue, though. I think that,
but it's not going to discourage him from running.
It may or may not. I think that there again is a group out there trying to say, look, Joe Biden, quit while you're ahead. End as being vice president. Don't embarrass yourself, et cetera. You have Republicans also jumping on the bandwagon. But I think that there is a generational gap of understanding here where, and I'm not defending that because you do have to evolve.
But I think it's a cop-out to call it a generational gap because you have other candidates that are older. We have people in politics that are older, over 70, over 80 even. And still, it's just a lack of understanding, getting into 2019 mindset.
Speaking of which, ironically, it's the other old guy in the race that a lot of people in the Biden camp are blaming, right? Bernie Sanders, who himself had good news, right? His campaign announced that they raised a whopping $18.2 million in the first quarter of this presidential race. So could fundraising be another worry for the former VP? I mean, the longer he waits, Capri, it seems like the further behind he's going to be on this fundraising, which wasn't his strength in the first place.
Right. No, I think that is definitely an issue. And I do think that Joe Biden may have fallen prey to the Hillary Clinton syndrome. And what I mean by that is he is someone that I think assumed assumed because he is ahead in the polls, which frankly has to do with name recognition, at least to a great degree, that he figured as soon as he gets in the race, he's going to scare everybody else away and that it's going to be his. I think he may have waited too long with this, these allegations piling on. It may be even more difficult for him to raise money.
Right.
I think it's going to be an uphill battle.
That's one of the things that I noticed. And, I've got a lot of friends on the opposite side of the street, and they were doing fundraisers for Kamala Harris. They were doing fundraisers for Cory Booker. And I started thinking, if these big cats are already holding fundraisers in L.A. and different parts of the United States, where does that leave Joe Biden? Because if you've already committed with your pocketbook and you've already hosted a huge $1 million fundraiser in your home, you're not going to be doing it for Joe Biden. I think you're right. I think he may be getting in a little too late.
Leeza?
By the same token, I think regardless, he's going to raise funds. He's popular. He has the name recognition. But at the same time, it's a question of whether females are going to come out and vote for him, other races are going to come out and vote for him. And I think that's pointing in a very negative direction.
When you've been in the public eye this long, there's a lot of baggage out there, and he knows all of it will resurface.
Yes.
Ladies, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.